Hey everyone, today I'm going to do some commentary over two of my guild's yogg-saron kills. One is going to be a 2-tank kill and the other is going to be a solo tank kill. I'm going to go over both of those strategies. I'm just going to go over phase 3 because that's all that really changes between yogg-1 and yogg-0. And if you're trying yogg-0, you've probably done yogg-1 quite a few times already. So aside from losing a health and damage buff, the only difference is that the Immortal Guardians in phase 3 are not going to die when they get low because you're not going to have Thorum active. So instead we have to tank those and deal with them the rest of the fight. First, let's look at a 2-tank kill. So the advantage of 2-tanking it is that you have 2 tanks with 2 separate sets of cooldowns, and with Beacon of Light you're effectively doubling the healing being put out onto the add tanks. It's easier to keep the Immortal Guardian tanks alive with this strategy compared to the solo tank strat. So if tank survivability is an issue, this would be the better strat for you. The disadvantage to the 2-tank strat is of course that you have one less DPS for the entire fight, and both phase 2 and phase 3 extra DPS helps a ton. Alright, so let's hop into the 2-tank kill. So before the phase starts, everybody's repositioning behind Yogg. We want to attack him from the back because he does actually parry. So first ad comes out, I'm picking that up. Our DK tank, he's going to be picking up the next one, and we're just trading off who picks up each one. So I'm picking up every other one, and I try to also keep an eye on it. If it looks like maybe he's not going to get the taunt in time, I'm trying to cover for that too. Because these guys can be kind of annoying to target and taunt, so help each other out on this. The drain life, you want to interrupt that as much as you can. These ads do damage based on how much health they have. The more health they have, the more damage they do. So we want to keep them lower HP for that. Here we've got beacons going out. This is one of the most important parts of the fight. The beacons, they're gonna do an AoE heal. It puts a heal over time that heals for a lot on anything near the target of the beacon and the beacon target themselves. So this can also apply to Yogg and these stack. So if these weren't taunted out, there would be 3 different huge heal over time effects going on all of these ads, which means they're just going to be at like full HP the entire time and doing tons of damage because their damage is health based. And if they weren't taunted out here, then they would heal Yogg as well, and there's no way we would meet the DPS check if 3 heals went on Yogg. So here we're going to have a Feral Druid taunting out 1. He got his out pretty early. And then we've got 2 Hunters distracting shotting the other 2 out. That way the heals go off away from all other ads, so each beacon is only healing 1 ad. That is our goal here. So you can see they all go out. This one was a little bit late, but it gets out. And the Hunters, they just feign, they come right back to the tanks, easy. If you're not using a Hunter, then like here with the Feral Druid, since he taunted, one of the tanks just needs to taunt back off of him to get threat back off. So here I'm going to taunt back off our Feral Druid, and he can once again DPS. So now that some of these beacons have gone off, 3 of these ads are getting healed for a lot, so the damage is going to start to ramp up a little bit here. But the damage isn't too bad yet. They aren't all at full HP, and we don't have too many up yet. So now they're all back in. We want to make sure interrupts are happening on those drain lives to try to minimize the healing. And we're just rotating every other. I've got 4 on me right now. Our other tank has 3 on him. We're starting to rotate some of our smaller damage reduction cooldowns right now. And the second shadow beacon's about to go out. And as we're moving here, so on this second shadow beacon, this one, the tanks are just moving away from Yogg. We're not getting them taunted out. We actually had a new hunter with us. He wasn't aware that he wasn't supposed to take this one out. So there shouldn't be one being pulled out by a hunter here. All of them should just be with the tanks. And the tanks just move back here. The heal over time, the shadow beacon heal over time The range on it's around 20 yards, so you just want to be far enough away from Yogg to make sure he's not going to get that. So we pull everything back here to make sure these shadow beacons go off away from Yogg. And this is the scary part right here. All of these ads, they've got tons of heal over time effects on them. They're all going to be at 100% HP soon. Most of them already are. There's only really one that isn't. So they're going to be doing a lot of damage. This is where you want your shield wall. Going into this, you can use like pain suppression too, just like any damage reduction cooldowns you have. We actually didn't utilize too much here. We've been getting a little bit lazy with this, just because we're kind of farming it at this point. But definitely make use of like all the damage reduction cooldowns you can. Makes this a lot easier. And it's really helpful. We weren't actually doing it here, but if your warriors can keep up demo shout on everything, that's huge. Because like as a pally, I've got vindication. It's not going to stay up on everything. And the demo shout, that's just going to be guaranteed, especially at the end when they're doing a lot more damage because their health is way higher. So here, we're now going to run our walls here, because this is the most dangerous part. We've got all these ads really high HP. So I've got my wall going, and you also need to make sure you're watching for new spawns here. So really important to pick those up before they kill people in the raid. So we've got a ton of ads. They're all really high HP. Our walls are about to end. And here we're going to have our Feral Druid get a bop, and he's going to come in and AoE taunt them. This is going to keep all of these just sitting here for a while. It gives us plenty of time to get away. You don't have to do this, but it just buys you a little extra time. You can also just nitro boot out right out of here, but we found this was a little safer, bought us a little bit more time. So here, he taunts it, and you want each tank to go a different direction. So one tank goes that way, one tank goes that way. New ads are going to be continuing to spawn, and they're completely random where they're going to spawn from. So having one tank go each direction means you'll for sure have a tank that's in range to taunt them as they're running out. So as you can see here, I'm running out, and I was able to pick this one up on my way to the door. So I'm just getting a little bit through it. I'm booting out, and both of us were meeting back here at the door. One thing I should have done here, I should have thrown a bop on our DK here. That would have bought us even more time, but again, we're kind of at the point where we're doing way more damage than we need. We've got tons of time to spare, so we've gotten a little bit lazy. But you should, if you need that time, just throw the bop on the other tank here. That'll buy you some extra time. And at this point, I mean, we killed him there, but normally I would be dying here, like in our earlier attempts at this boss. And once I die there, then everybody back here, the DKs, they should be popping Army of the Dead, so that any new ads that are coming in, new ones spawning, but also these ones coming back from the door, those will all get picked up by Army of the Dead and by the raid even more time to burn Yogg. Alright, so next we're going to look at a solo tank kill. And this is kind of going to be our preferred method of killing this boss now. We found it just makes it easier and quicker. So with this method, you get to bring in extra DPS, which is great because it makes phase 2 and phase 3 a lot quicker and easier. We also don't bother taunting out any of the beacons, so I just move out and move back in, which simplifies the fight a lot more. You can definitely do that with the 2-tank strat as well, but that's just another thing we added. So let's get into it. Again, just positioning behind Yogg and picking up ads as they come. And this time we don't have to worry about whose turn it is to pick up what. I'm just picking up everything. So that kind of simplifies it. And it's really important to make sure you're not giving your back to these guys. They hit super hard. So you want to make sure you're avoiding and blocking everything you can. So you'll see I'm like kind of moving around as I'm doing the pickups to make sure nothing's getting behind me. On this pull too, oh, that was really bad. I was slow on that taunt there. Fury Warrior, I'm sure, like hit a whirlwind at the perfect time there, but I should have been quicker on that taunt. So here we got the beacons going up. So I literally just move out for it. We're not worrying about any taunts or anything. And then kind of slow on that taunt too. Kind of off day for me, I guess. So we're coming back in. And at this point, these are all high HP ads. They should all have demo on them, like I mentioned before. That is something that will significantly reduce the damage here. So make sure you get that up. But we got a lot of high HP ads, so start running cooldowns here. And I'm the only tank, so damage is even higher because of that. So I just got PS, it's about to wear off, and the beacons are now going out. I popped my wall a little bit early here. You don't necessarily need to pop it that early. Could wait a little bit on it. I just had never tried this strat before, so I wasn't sure on the timing, and just wanted to make sure we got it. I knew we had plenty of damage. So I'm just booting out, and you can see I'm at 4 sanity. This was a really unlucky pull. In phase 2, I just got zapped by like every single one of the unavoidable sanity loss things. So luckily it worked out. Had the perfect amount of sanity left. But yeah, that's a new strat we've just used in our last raid, and that's what we're going to be doing going forward. It just makes the fight a lot easier. You don't have to worry about taunting out beacons. You could do that Feral Druid Bop Taunt strat too if you need the extra time. So we're not doing that anymore just because we have a lot of damage now, but if you need the extra time, you can definitely add that part in as well. But not having to taunt out the beacons and not worrying about the Feral Druid Bop, that's given us a lot more damage on Yogg, and we're just killing the boss a lot quicker now. And as far as armor pot, just pop that like when phase 3 begins. It'll last you the whole time at that point. That's everything though. So hopefully one of those 2 strats will work out well for your guild if you haven't already killed Yogg. Let me know if this video helps you get a Yogg 0 kill. I always love hearing that. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.